bring this meeting of the Koochiching County Board of Commissioners to order through WebEx, and date is April 14th, and it's 9:36. I've got a motion by, was that Roy that approved the minutes?
Yes, it was.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second by Wade.
Okay, second by Tavley. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Tavley.
Aye.
McBride.
Aye.
Sobel.
Aye.
Troy.
Aye.
And I'm aye. Motion is carried. COVID-19 update. Yes, you have an update for us?
Yes, I do. Good morning. We still only have one confirmed case in the falls here. That person has recovered. Nothing much else is going on with that. We're just putting out a lot of information on the public health website to encourage people to wear the mask, to social distancing, to staying home as much as they possibly can. There seems to be an uptick in people talking about some of this being kind of a conspiracy to keep information away from them. We're trying to quell that with putting out a lot of information on social media so that people understand there is no conspiracy. We're not trying to hide any information. We're not hiding positive cases for people. We're testing as many people as we can using the test for those that exhibit the symptoms so that we're not running out of tests for when we really need them. We continue to work on the emergency response planning, getting things in order so that we can meet the needs of all the residents of Koochiching County as far as housing or supplies. I think that our emergency preparedness group, we have several meetings during the week with community leaders in the medical profession, and we're very well connected, everyone's working really well together to make sure that everybody has everything that they need to respond should we get more of an influx of cases. And I do believe that people need to understand that what we are doing right now is helping us to not have so many cases, but it's not making the cases go away, and there will be a time when we have more cases. You can see, if you look at the maps on the Minnesota Department of Health website, you can see that it's moving up the state, and there's going to be more. This is not going to take away from it, but our health profession will be ready to deal with it when that influx of cases comes, if we continue to work hard at doing what we're doing. Does anybody have any questions?
There is no cases then in Koochiching right now.
It will show. I don't know when it will update but it appears the person is recovering. I think they have to have 2 negative tests before they're considered cured or past it. I don't know that that's happened yet, but the person, we are aware that the person is recovering.
Kathy, this is Brian. I don't believe the number of cases ever go away. They just add on, so we'll always show one case, I believe.
Okay. I did think they moved it to recovered, but...
Right, they removed the covered, but they leave it as a case.
Right. It will always show that is a confirmed case for us, yes.
And Kathy, this is Brian again. You know, last week our meeting with the Community Health Board, and both Deke and Itasca, they shared the same sentiments that you just did about people really struggling with information and not really trusting what they're hearing. So it is an issue, so we just need to be upfront of everything and keep trying to share everything we can.
Yeah, okay.
Kathy, this is Kevin. Are there employees at Rainy Lake Medical under quarantine right now at the hospital?
I'm not aware of anything like that. I don't know that they would share that with us though necessarily either, because that, could be protected health information for a person. We will only know if there are positive cases confirmed.
Okay. Karen, do you have anything for us on COVID-19?
I don't think I have anything directly to add to the conversation. Kathy hit just busy in meetings every single day of the week. I guess if anyone do you have any direct questions for me?
Yeah, how the deputies hold it up?
They're good. I mean, there's obviously a lot of, I think, just stress of the unknown for everyone. We're navigating the new normal, but
they also include the upstairs group, our jail dispatchers. They're really on the front line too.
Yeah, and so I mean, our biggest effort right now is just to keep everyone healthy and essentially try to keep it out of our building as much as possible.
Yeah.
The fear I think that we have is that this is going to go on longer than anyone is anticipating.
Yeah.
With the social distancing and the constant being on guard, I think that will take its toll just on people's psyche over time.
Now, as the quotations between the county and city, the jail rate went down, the arrest rates, people are staying home and staying community-minded.
I would love to say that. I don't know that that's the case, but kudos to the county attorney and the court system for really stepping up their game, and there was an effort to release people that we could, but then also really more so formal complaints and ticketing versus arrest. So it's been a group effort, I'll be honest with you. We've been able to keep the jail numbers down, but quite frankly, people are out there committing crimes. We've seen domestics go up lately. So we just continue to arrest those people and get them in front of the judge and move them along.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions for Karen? Or Kathy? All right, thanks. Financial business.
Mr. Chair, I will approve under 4A or amending the April 7th highway claim.
Okay, got a motion by Commissioner Schulbaum.
Second by Wade.
And I've got a second by Wade. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Pavlik? Aye. McBride?
Aye.
Schulbaum?
Aye.
Roy?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Motion's carried. Approved void of warrant.
I'll move on that as well, Mr. Chair.
Got a motion by Schulbaum.
Second by Skoy.
And a second by Skoy. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Pavlik?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Schulbaum? Schulbaum?
Aye.
And Skoy?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Approve amendment to credit card policy, Appendix A.
Pavlik, I'll move.
I've got a motion by
Mr. Chair.
And a second by Shobel. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, Pavlik.
Aye.
McBride.
Aye.
Shobel.
Aye.
And Skoye.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Personnel business. Approved employment separation part-time E91 correctional officer.
Mr. Chair, McBride.
Got a motion by McBride. Do I have a second?
Second, Pavlik.
And a second by Pavlik. Any discussion? Did this also include a hire, or are we going to need that?
No, Mr. Chair, this is Janelle talking, and this is actually with a part-time employee.
Okay.
So we have that kind of open-ended roster that we can fill in.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Pavlik.
Pavlik, aye.
McBride.
Aye.
Shobel.
Aye.
Skoye.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Sioux Rural Fire Association fireboat loan. And I heard Randy there earlier, so.
Bosniak, I am here.
Okay. Would you like to say anything?
Well, I just want to thank the county board for moving forward on this on behalf of Rural Fire. I mean, I see great cooperation now between the Rural Fire Board and the county board, and working together as a team. I think it's going to be a huge improvement for Rainy Lake to have this fireboat available.
Okay.
I'm willing to move, Mr. Chair.
Motion by Pavlik.
Second, Mr. Chair.
And a second by Shobel. Any discussion?
This is McBride. This is a question for Jenny, and maybe if the county attorney's there, we got all the paperwork good and everything will be signed and we're all good to go.
Yes, we have the county attorney's office prepared the loan agreement that is a promissory note that was in your board packet. I will go ahead and get Kevin's signature, and we'll get somebody from Rural Fire to sign that as well. We're actually going to we'll disperse this check on the 22nd because that's what the amortization schedule is. If they don't need it until then, we can also delay that disbursement date till whenever those funds are needed by Rural Fire, so that they're not accruing interest before they need to.
The total amount of that then is $79,100.
That's right. We rounded it up. They already made partial payments, and I do not think that there were going to be any extras on that loan, but we just rounded up the loan amount to an even dollar amount.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, on behalf of certainly my constituents and some of yours, I want to thank Mr. Posniak and the Rural Fire Association for all the work they've done on this. I'm looking at this for a decade or longer, and they were able to put this together without any kind of increase to the Rural Fire Association members, and that's quite an accomplishment. I think. What asset, not only for our area, but other areas. And I'm hoping as we look forward that we can get some, I want to say cross-border cooperation on fires. In fact, last year we had a fire just over the border on the Canadian side, and we had the assault boat. It could have saved a lot of that island. So anyway, things like that. I want to thank those folks. It's been a long haul, and they've worked hard, and we come to a good conclusion here.
We've actually got a joint agreement with Port Francis to help them in cases like that, right?
I don't believe we have a formal agreement yet, but Randy would know about that. Randy?
I don't believe there is as far as the water. I'm sure the fire trucks, between the International Falls Fire Department and the Fort Francis Fire Department have an agreement. I think it might have to be expanded to include the water.
Maybe amended somewhere?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions to Randy or anyone else?
Mr. Chair, this is McBride. One more question for Randy. Randy, on the specs, we ever had requested something about the outboards. Did we get changed or did we get stuck with the originals?
No, they were changed to follow your recommendation.
So we went to the Suzuki or Yamaha or something like that?
If Dana's on the phone, she would be able to answer that more specifically, but I know whatever brand you recommended, that's what they went to.
Okay, I stuck my neck up for that, I guess.
Okay.
They've been performed now.
So if there's any problems, we'll come back from Brian.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are. This is Dana. They are Suzuki's, you guys. 2 175 Suzuki's.
Thanks, Dana.
Mhm.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Okay, I've got a motion and a second. All in favor, Pavlik?
Aye.
Bride?
Aye.
Sobel?
Aye.
Floyd?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you guys very much, and I'm going to get off the call.
Okay. And then I've got a full notice of default.
I move on notice of default, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I've got a motion by McBride. Do I have a second?
Second.
I've got a second by Pavlik. Any discussion? And that has to do with Granite Digital.
Mr. Chair,
Uh-huh.
this is Paul Nevinen on the line. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just want to be clear what this motion does, just so we're all clear.
Jen?
I think somebody forgot on this call.
I'm not certain if anybody can hear me. It looks like this is still on mute.
No.
You're good?
You can hear me?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay. We have the development agreement that was approved back in February of 2017. Some of those timelines weren't met, and it was clear they weren't going to be able to be met. And so we had an amendment to that development agreement in February of 2019. And we have 2 benchmarks for Granite Digital to meet. The first being closing on the purchase and sale of the property no later than August 30th, 2019. Obviously, that was a bit ago. That has not been done. The second stated benchmark was that they would commence construction on the data center campus no later than April 30th, 2020. We're still 6 days away from that. Being they haven't closed, I think it's pretty clear that that benchmark is not going to be met. But at this point, the only default that I think we can go without question would be the fail to close on August 30th, 2019. Per the agreement, this provides notice to Granite Digital that they are in default, and when they get that notice, they then have 20 days to attempt to cure that default. So that's what this does. It puts the developers on notice that we believe they're in default because this is the sale of real property owned by the county, and it was authorized and approved by the county board in consultation with one of my colleagues. It was determined that it was probably to follow letter of the law procedure procedure, it would be up to the county board to determine that they were in default. I can look at a calendar and say, well, it's pretty clear that August 30th has come and gone and there is no closing yet. For the elected representatives through the board to make that actual judgment call. Paul, did that answer your question?
Yes, it's procedural, understood, but I would hope that the county board would continue to support Granite Digital and their team as they work through some of the challenges that they've run up against, and continue to work with them. And if it means an extension or discussion of an extension, I would hope that they would continue to support Joe and his team as they continue to work very hard, given some of the circumstances, to continue to move this project along.
Do we have a motion on that?
Yes.
I thought we did. So, any other comments from the board?
Mr. Chair, if I may?
Yep.
Would it be prudent to, maybe have a little discussion with Granite Digital before we? I haven't actually spoken to anyone about, the actual. I knew this day was coming, of course, but I haven't spoken to anybody. Would it be something to consider? I know we've had a couple extensions already, but to get a realistic timeline, would that be something that anybody would be interested in?
Well, Mr. Chair, if I could, we also have another interest in that facility. I think at any point anyone can bring something back or another request, and we can look at it. So, yeah. But I think we've got to abide by the agreement. We're way past it now. Yeah. That's just my thought.
I agree with you. Then a process and that other interested parties know. So,
Mr. Chair.
Any other comments?
Mr. Chair, this is Brian.
Yep.
Say, and just question with Jeff, I know that legally that once the timeline is met, we need to follow through with that. But that does not preclude that Granite Digital from moving forward and approaching the county board or whatever it is. But I think they would have to come back and request another purchase agreement. I think this one has run out, and I don't know if there's extensions with it. I guess Jeff could answer that question, but it doesn't preclude anybody from coming with a purchase agreement. I know the other interested party, they're another unit, but that's going to move really slow. So I think it's first come, first serve.
Didn't we do one extension with them already?
Mr. Chair?
Yes?
This is County Attorney Naglaski. To answer the chair's question, yes, there already has been one extension. That's the First Amendment to the Development Agreement, dated February 22nd, 2019. And Commissioner McBride is correct that this doesn't completely destroy or negate the agreement that we have with Granite Digital. It just puts them on notice that the board believes they're in default. It doesn't say they don't have the opportunity to hear, or we can't all come back to the table to renegotiate something new or yet another extension if that's what the board decides to do. This is just a procedural step that was, quite frankly, missed back in August of last year, that, hey, they did not meet the benchmarks that they promised to meet. We're now putting them on official notice that that benchmark was not met.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Jeff. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, this is Brian again. And I think what it does, it puts Granite Digital on notice, and so they know for sure what the position of the board is. They're in default, so the ball's in their court.
Yeah. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor? Pavlik?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dobum?
No.
Troy?
Aye.
something, Chair. I really think it'd be prudent with what's going on today. I think the new future is going to be data storage. Here we are sitting in our kitchens and our spare bedrooms and our basements and whatever. So I really think that this is kind of going to lean in that direction even more now than ever before.
Okay, thank you, Jason.
Mr. Chair, this is County Attorney McGlasky again. I will draft that notice to Granite Digital, given the board action today.
Thank you, Jeff. Any environmental service business? Approve the MPCA 4 grant agreement.
Morning.
Hey, Matt.
The county has received funding from the state for many years in accordance with the county waste reduction and recycling funding statute. We have depended on this funding to help offset the cost of running our recycling programs throughout the county. The fiscal year 2020 disbursement will be $69,692. And that varies every year depending on the formula. New this year, the MPCA requires the county to have an executed grant agreement in place. The requirements for receiving the funding have not changed. We must match the grant with at least 25% local funds, spend the grant funds on waste reduction and recycling, submit annual reports, and have in place a solid waste management plan, which we do, and now, of course, have a grant agreement with the MPCA. I reviewed the grant agreement with the county attorney's office, and they didn't have any issues, and I would recommend approving execution of this grant agreement.
I'll move, Mr. Chair.
Got a motion by Pavlik. Do I have a second?
Second, Mr. Chair.
Second by Schobel. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Pavlik. Aye. Bride.
Aye.
Schobel.
Aye.
Boy.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Way too nice to him, Kel.
Yeah, I think so. Anybody here for public comment or I think I saw Dean there. Does Dean have anything for us or?
Yeah, this is Mike. Welcome. I do have one question.
Mike.
Can I go ahead? Didn't hear you.
Who's that?
Mike, welcome.
Okay. Go ahead.
I've been listening to the county board meeting. I think this is my third or fourth time. It's really, really good information, and I applaud you guys for working through the technical difficulties. In regards to whatever conspiracy theories that Jenny was talking about that are on Facebook, it would be nice to see some of this discussion that's happening on the telephone, in the newspaper, or quite possibly on the radio. So if you could help us old people that don't have or don't want to get on Facebook and be involved in any of those conspiracy theories, I think that would be great, and the public would really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Anybody else for public comment? Okay, hearing nothing else. If there's no other business come before the board, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll move, Mr. Chair.
A motion by Pavlik. Do I have a second? Is that Wayne?
Yeah.
Okay, and the second by Skoye. All in favor, Pavlik?
Aye.
McBride?
Aye.
Schobel?
Aye.
Skoye?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Meeting is adjourned.